My lesson is going to be part class, part lecture's the wrong word, but we're going to get really deep into some theory through action around the stages of Fiore's fight and why the villain strike, Villano strike, actually gives us one of the deepest insights into the system there is. Okay? So we know that Fiore has 4 stages of his fight. Okay? Master Battle, Master Remedy, Master Contrary, and Contrary, countering the counter. But he says when you get to the 4th stage, that's it. That's the end of the fight. Not because you've won, but because you cannot counter a counter a counter in a combat. Okay? So you basically go back to a remedy. Okay? We also know that he says, when you find a remedy, keep applying remedies until they win, or you have to try another one. And you keep going, keep the pressure on. So what we're going to do is explore Largo up to Villano and the next couple of plays, but in the context of the stages of Fiore's fight. Okay? So hopefully this will mean different things to each of you depending on what level you're at. Okay? So you're going to have to bear with me a little bit because we're, like all of my classes, we start with some smattering and we build it into some principles, okay? Because the main thing for me is that you've got stuff to take away in your mind. Anybody can just do techniques. This is more than that, okay? So, a couple of themes about this, how we're going to build these scenarios up, okay? The context of this is what I think is the primary context of Fiore, which is you're a false master, I'm the master. We've met in strange places, I've got no friends, exactly like Fiore says, and we are going to spar, we're going to fight, so we're going to duel, okay? But neither of us want to die today, okay? Same as Fiore, he made a big deal. I had 5 fights in strange places with no friends, and I was without legion to myself. He didn't get hurt, okay? So we know that we could get hurt, but I've come away unscathed. So the context is, I don't want to die today. We're going to fight, but neither of us want to die. And that's really important, because it's a different context to Dagger out in the market, okay? This is Fiore's main master-to-master context, okay? So, let's start with Master Battle first. As I said, we're going to build this up, we're going to throw the plays in, but really what we're doing is pushing into the villain strike, and we're going to explore that and the reason why it exists, okay? So it's about a 10-stage process. So, first exercise, which is kind of a bit of an additional warm-up, is to masks, jackets if you want, preferably jackets, gloves, sword, pair off, and what you're going to do is, who's got a mask hand? Or Luke, yeah, sorry, we don't need a mask, but what we're going to do is just using Master Battle. Master Battle is everything out here, okay? Master Battle is everything that happens before I get to a technique, before I get to remedy, okay? So it's cutting, moving, and posture. We're going to explore posture again in a second. Our warm-up type exercise is to very gently spar, but we're not allowed to use a play. All we are allowed to do is move and try and cut at each other. No defense, just moving and cutting. We go through this super slowly. It's going to force us to get offline. I'm going to try and cut at Luke. He's going to try, this is it. Just maintain the distance. Everything Master Battle. Everything Master Battle. We reset ourselves. No plays. This is exercise number 1, okay? Sort of a supplemental warm-up, but I want to try and build a foundation for this class, okay? So like all my classes, I build it up, yeah? So you guys have done moves before with me, classes, I always build them up. So the principle is Master Battle, right? So the second key theme of this is not only do neither of us want to die, but we are tentative, we're assessing each other, yeah? And I'm trying to figure out how much skill this guy has. This is the story of the class, okay? So, why would I waste time and increase the risk with techniques if I don't need them? We've just squared off where the assessment starts straight away. Exactly what Fiore says, assess your opponent. Okay, he stood there like he knows what he's doing, okay? So, straight away, he's up in the ante. He's a bit more skilled perhaps than maybe Joe Blogg's average, okay? But I'm not just going to steam in if you don't want to die today, okay? So, as he's moving, I'm just going to, I am going to try and get him out here. Why would I want to step in and increase the risk? Complexity. If he's stupid enough to let me get him dead, then great, I've won today, no risk, I've just killed him with a cut, easy. Yeah, that's master battle. Cuts and movement, cuts and movement. You may be there for a few exchanges, or I may cut him and he may just close in. He may just close in. Yeah, I may cut him. Boom, oh shit, now he really knows what he's doing. So, remedy time. Okay, but he's the one taking me there. He's forcing me up through my sequence, okay? Because I want to kill everybody at master battle at distance, no risk, okay? So, and this is all going somewhere, so as always, bear with me. Master battle is where it's at, okay? Big part of master battle we know is our posture, okay? Super important. There is a difference between guards and posture, okay? Guards are for guarding, waiting, okay, because he's got an axe sword, or because he's got a poleaxe and I've only got one of these, whatever. Posture are for positioning. I did a whole class on this a couple of years ago. But posture are part of master battle, because I don't want to die today. So I want to force a predictable outcome, okay? So I will do that, okay, Chingar. Yeah, because I want to force him to attack me in a certain way. I want him to step, to slow him down. So, thanks very much. I'm still at distance. I haven't really entered a proper remedy yet. That's just a beat in the cup. I'm still at master battle. All still master battle. Okay? So what we're going to do is, we're not going to go through all the posture, we're going to go through two key posture, okay? Just to build this journey. Alright? So the first posture we're going to go for is coda longa. I've chosen my two favourite. So, coda longa. Front foot weighted, because I'm only really going to be stepping forward. The weapon is back here, okay, and Fiore says you can very happily close with this. That's exactly what we're going to do. But think about it in the sequence. We've met, he's trying to prove he's a master, I'm trying to prove he's a master. We want to win, but neither of us want to die. And I'm going to say that a lot because it's important. So we've moved, we've assessed, okay, right, fine, it's not quite happening the way I want it to. It's too good for this. Right, come on, I'm going to try and force it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that posture to force this attack. Okay? Because I am the master. Okay? The jury's still out on him. So let's give him something. Let's give him some bait. My whole head is open. My whole head is open. So hit me. If he takes the bait, that's the stage of the fight we're in. Okay? We're into that stage of the fight now. If he doesn't, I'm going to choose another posture. I'm going to keep trying to position it, keep trying to make it predictable. So use that posture. We're going to do two of these. We're going to put some principles into this, okay? Force an outcome. Thank you very much. Whatever we want, whatever we want. Okay, you don't have to do a play, but put your masks on and go for it. But if they're stupid, okay, still hit them. Because I still want to be at master battle. I still don't want to increase the risk. I don't want to die today. Okay? So play around with the exercise you were just doing. Cutting, moving, drop it into, choose the tallest person first, because it's just easier than saying which one wants to go first. Coda longa, encroach on the distance, get the fendente and just cover it. Okay? Happy? Cool. Master battle, coda longa. So remember, we only ever spend 2 or 3 minutes on something, we move fast, so some of it will stick, right? So, new master, new potential master. Okay? We've met in strange places, okay? I am the master. But he's out, the jury's out. There's things I'm going to repeat a lot. So, let's go through this again. I don't know anything about this guy. I want to win, and I want to die. Same for him, hopefully. Okay? If he's suicidal, he's going to jump from that master battle right the way through into master remedy. If he just steams in, he's taking it there anyway. So I can ignore master battle, it's too late. Okay, but this is playing it out like neither of us want to die. So what we did first and second exercise was, okay, I'm going to figure it out. If I'm great and I can kill him here, then why not? Brilliant, that's what I'll do. Because it's safe, it's nice. But if he's starting to defend, he's probably pretty good at this, or at least better than I thought. So, come on in, I'll give him a nice big target. Yeah, I'll use my posture, and I can start to then use that posture like it's designed for. That's the posture I chose. I can choose any posture. If he's a lefty, whatever, I might decide to use Finestra on this side. It doesn't matter, okay? Posture I've dictated by what I want to achieve, it's my last chance to be strategic, remember, or where he's moving to, okay? If in Master Battle he keeps going that way, that's perfect. But actually, coda longa is brilliant for me, okay? Because I'm pretty sure the attack's going to come down this line, okay? And so on and so forth, that's the posture. Another example is Chingali, okay? A bit more aggressive this time. Chingali is an aggressive posture. We're given a lot of advice from Chingali, so let's play something out. He talks about a double thrust, okay? So let's play this out. He's better than I thought, okay? I want to win, but neither of us want to die. So I'm going to use Chingali like Fiore tells me. We know all of the basic, easy stuff we can do with Chingali. We know we can leap from it, we can exchange, we know all that. But let's take the description. We're here, okay? We're told to give a double thrust. Let's figure out what that makes him do, okay? So, nice and aggressively, the first thrust comes up. I would have killed him. Perfect. Okay? If I've got his face, from my posture, he's dead. I can go home and win, okay? If he figures it out and he makes a cover against it, okay? Lucky we're safe, isn't it, Bruno? If he covers that first offline thrust, I've forced an outcome, so I'll do exactly what Fiore tells me. I'll go back and I'll do it because I'm forcing outcomes. Okay? The double thrust from Chingali is super, super aggressive, but it's super, super important because it's starting to encroach into more aggressively trying to force him into an outcome. Okay? Depending on how he reacts dictates where we go next. But let's give that a try. Okay? So, if he's too close and you can kill him with Master Battle, you will. Okay, if he's a little bit better than I thought, okay, maybe not code longer this time, maybe Chingali. Okay, offline and thrust, didn't work, back down, always made a cover, and I'll do exactly the same again. I'm forcing an outcome. Look at this nice big opening. Nice and aggressive. Okay, so let's give the double thrust from Chingali a go. Come offline both times. There's about 4 or 5 different ways they can react, but each way they react gives me a remedy. Okay, so we won't get to that today as such, but it's important that you know. So I'm thrusting out offline, that's a good response, back down again, and I'll thrust again and offline again. Okay, it's very aggressive, okay? In the heat of the moment, you probably won't be expecting a double thrust. But if he's got good skill, he will react to it, which will force me into the next stage of the fight. Okay, that's what the posture is for, okay? Okay, so, we're building it up, right? I want to be at Master Battle. Okay, we're fighting, neither of us want to die today. I'm going to keep saying it because it's really important, okay? So, let's build it up again. This is now where we're going to start looking at how the plays start to fall into this, okay? So Master Battle, beats, breaks, covers, coping, movement, footwork, the segno, the principles, everything's there. That's where I want to be, that's my foundation. I want to kill him at Master Battle, but he's too good for that, okay? So I'm trying to kill him, moving offline, giving him a thrust. He's good, he's good, okay? So very quickly, start to do something else, okay? Giving you 2 examples. The posture, you know, you're Exiles, but the posture cannot be underestimated. They are forcing predictable outcomes, reducing my risk. I don't want to let him just decide how to hit me, because I have to react to it. Let me force him. Okay, code longer. Come on, hit my head. Yeah, that's what I want. Or I'll force him more aggressively. Chingali, let's see. I'm taking it to him. Okay, because I want to control, I want to manage the pace. I am the master. Okay, so we're out. Okay, didn't react. Out again, starting to react. Okay, he's too good for this. This is where the plays now come in. Master remedy. Okay, super important, and I'll repeat this a couple of times as well. While I want to start off in Master Battle, I don't always have the choice. Okay? And I did this just a second ago, but he could just steam in. He could assume that I'm not great and just think, fucking, I'm going to clean you in 2. So he can, or I can immediately take it to Master Remedy. Okay, but that's not the scenario of today. Okay? So, let's start to look at the plays. Okay? I'm trying to control the distance, the pace. I'm trying to make it predictable. When something's important, I repeat it a lot. So, it doesn't matter what posture I come from, but let's start looking at how we're getting into Largo, or Stretto, but we'll focus on Largo today, okay? So, we've moved with exchange. We could have done 2 or 3 exchanges each, but either way, I know, it's time to take it to the next level, okay? Now, the whole thing about Largo is, generally, my left foot stays forward. I can do Largo with my right foot forward, but generally my left foot's forward. Why? Because I want him to step. Okay, this is now getting into that remedy part of the fight. I'm not being aggressive enough yet, but I'm going to step into my stretto. Okay, so Largo, I want him to step, slows him down. So we all know what happens. We find the first incrusado. Okay, from wherever we are, okay? Find it right down on the punta. Okay, And we all know, because of Exiles, that these can ultimately end up pretty much anywhere. Because I don't get to tell him how to hit me. Okay, so here we are. Either way, this is distance driven now. Again, we do this a lot, right? But I know out here, I've got certain options. Centre line, thrust, no centre line, cut around, okay? In the manuscript, the first bunch of plays are always first because they're the most common. Okay, it's really important. Same with the dagger. First play, first master dagger. It's there because it's the most common. It's the easiest to defend, but it's also the most common, okay? Exactly the same with the lava. So we're out, we're in, we're finding, that both got some thrusting. Okay? So I know you practice these plays a lot, but just have a quick, because we're going to keep, I want to take you to the villain strike and why, so let's build it up in sequence. First and second place from the first Incrusada, so meter on the punter, thrust if it's open, cut around if it's not, okay? And then we'll do the next couple of plays. I want to show you about building into Remedy, and it's all been distance driven, because I don't want to die today, okay? Okay, so we're into Remedy, okay, but we're still tentative, all right? That's what the first two plays are for. That's why they're the first two, well, that's the first one play, but two principles from the Exiles column two plays. Chris, again, that's all right, you're right there. So we've met on the master, he's a false master. I think I can get a bit of that way. Oh no, he's moved. Shit, it's better this than I thought. Okay, let's think about the master. Yeah, that was not a bad reaction. Yeah, just figure him out. I don't want to die today. Yeah, I just want to win. Okay? I decide to give him something to hit, or he just decides to cut in. I'm into my Remedy plays. Tentative, at distance. Look how far away we are. That's all I need. You're going to taste a bit of the punter and have won. Easy. Okay, that's why we drill these plays so much. However, he cuts in again. Keep it at Largo, very nice and tight and loose. He cuts in again, like I fluffed it, or I've come from one position, or he's got the centre. So we know, get cut rounds, yeah? I'm at distance, tentative. I want to win and I'm going to die. Okay? But he could up the ante a little bit. Either by mistake, or because he's better at this than I thought. He knows, out here, it's just kind of anybody's game. If we exist out here for too long, he's got just as much chance of killing me as I have with him. If I don't take advantage of that first, the moment the swords cross, if I don't do something quick, it becomes very quickly a stalemate. We can exist out here for ages. And then it becomes, whoever gets trusted, basically. And it could be better than I thought. Okay? So we don't want to spend too long out there. I either hit him, or the fight evolves, and it evolves quick, okay? So, we get the next two plays, third into fourth, okay? Because, just sword up, the crossing happens on the Metza, which means he's stepped in a bit further than I thought, by accident, or because he's better than I thought. He knows we don't want to exist out here for too long. That's not how you win a fight. It's not really, it's a stalemate, or it becomes very quickly a stalemate. So, by accident or otherwise, we've ended up on the Metza. I don't have the space really easily to do those same plays as before. I just don't have the space. So, Fiore gives me 2 more plays, okay? Or 1 more play leading into another play. He's giving me triggers, okay? So even though I'm in Master Battle, I'm trying to control the pace, I'm trying to force him into a mistake, I'm trying to dictate how he's going to hit me to make my life easier. I still have that ability as I work through the sequence. Because even though I'm into basically the start of Remedy now from the Incrusada, I still have the opportunity to give myself the advantage, because this is a drilled, familiar, tactical position that I'm used to practicing a lot. So I know my options from here. Okay? So go back and work on third into fourth, however your class does it. Okay? Cutting straight down, wounding the arms, which leads us into the fourth play, which is coming offline and thrusting. Okay? However your current method of doing that is. We will fix that this weekend, I think. In either case, third into fourth, okay? But we're crossing on the middle now. There are stretto options, there's other options, but this is a story today, okay? So, however we get there, he's just done that. He's pretty good at this. He knows this is where he needs to be. Great. Give me my options next. Yeah? The next distance in, okay? That's why the Metza crossing is so important. Literally 2 minutes on this, a minute each, we'll move on, because this is all going somewhere, okay? Right, we've met, I'm the master, the jury's out on him. So far, he's doing alright, yeah? He's doing alright. I haven't killed him at Master Battle, I haven't killed him with those first tentative plays into Largo. I didn't position him with my posture very well. He's too good for this. He's too good to kill straight away. If someone's been doing this for 20 years, you're like Fiore's #1 student, and you meet someone who's been doing it for 6 weeks, you would just expect to kill them with a cut or a thrust and movement, right? But I've got to figure that out. I've got to figure that out. So, tentative. First couple of plays are largo, right? We're down. Okay, that's perfect for me, but slip back a little bit. Yeah, so like we've just done, it starts to evolve. I take it there, or he takes it there. I go back to Foster. I get him to hit me. Get a little bit closer. Mezza to mezza. Okay, so can't thrust anymore. Hard to cut around now. So I've got my 2 more plays. It's a trigger. Okay, but again, I repeat it. Super important. The fight may have just literally started and he could just steal it, right? Okay, I'm ready. Oh shit! But it's still back to the same trigger. So while I don't want to die today, I don't get to decide how he hits me. He might, okay? He might be completely fine with being totally suicidal. But I'm going back to principle, okay? We've skipped every stage before this and we've found ourselves here and it doesn't matter. Still the same trigger, okay? So the next evolution is the next play, okay? Starting to grab hold of the sword, starting to do things with it, kicking the body. Again, it's back to triggers. We're still in Master Remedy. And remember, this whole class is about getting to the Villain Strike and why, okay? And we're going to explore that. So, again, most of you will know the plays, but we've come in that much deeper. Yeah? I'm still wanting him to step, so my left foot still stays forward, okay? But we're a lot deeper now. My next trigger point is the sword. He's left it out there. So he's good, but he's not that good. He's left it out there for me to do what? He's gotten to this stage, he's been stupid enough to leave his sword in the bind. So I've grabbed it. And from here, I've got a bunch of options, wasting the legs, turn it into a thrust, whatever. I'm only keeping hold of this long enough to hit him. Yeah, because if he really wants that bad boy back, he's going to take it back. Yeah, which is why I bend the arm. Because if he pulls it, I can let go of it. Whereas if my arm's straight and he pulls it, it's cut my hands. Okay? So, that's the next play. Okay? If you want to evolve it into the 6th kick, you can as well. Both of those are triggers from basically the same position. Okay? I choose one over the other dependent on lots of things. Where he is, how long he leaves the sword out there for, if he tries to put it back. But let's just practice them as you would in training. The sword grab and the cut, or the sword grab and the kick to the knee. Okay? We want to get to Villain, so let's do it again. 90 seconds each. We know these plays. We move on. Okay, so before we dive into Villain, and then we start to sort of reverse engineer all the bits and pieces that we're doing, let's just really importantly summarise this up, okay? Because again, I told you this is part class, part talk, right? Because it's important. This gets really deep. You know when we start talking about this thing starting to become an art? Anybody that's looking at level 4 into level 5, it's these principles, knowing when to make a series of techniques an art, okay? Why to apply things in a certain way, what's likely to work, how to maximize your chances of success, good positive outcomes. That is a martial art, okay? You need to be able to apply it under pressure, which means you need principles and trigger points and familiar positions. The defensive fighter always loses. So Fiore, in his genius, and it is genius, he's trying to delay as long as possible the reactive stage of the fight. Anybody that's done any kind of proper fighting, combat or whatever, soldiers even, you know that you try and delay the reactive stage of the fight as long as you possibly can, because once it becomes reactive, it's more down to chance than skill. And that's just a fact, okay? So, we've met, okay? No idea about this guy, okay? I am the master, okay? I am Fiore, let's say, okay? Or his senior student, let's not be precise. In either case, in that context, right? So I think, okay, I don't want to die today. I've done this. There's always false masters. Okay, let's give him something to think about. Okay, didn't kill him. Right, well, big target for you. Big target for you. Okay, maybe it wasn't right as tricky to a
Yeah,
he's not, but he's better than I thought. Yeah? If he's not better than I thought, and he goes for that, and I've got to play, perfect. He's dead. Nice and predictable, nice and easy, less risk. But he's a bit better than I thought. So, okay, let's try something else. Okay, let's see what happens. That's interesting. What about him? Okay, he's moving like he knows what he's doing. Okay, so we'll keep evolving. Now I'm going to start to think about remedy. I need remedy now. Okay, so all the stuff we've just built up. give him a tempting target, we're out, I'll thrust and kill him. He's taken it down, okay? Or, I find him Crusader and thrust, but he covers. Okay, that's fine, it's perfect. He's denied my thrust. He's much better at this than I thought he was, much better. Yeah? My other trigger though, is maybe we accidentally got a bit closer. So I've got my plays for that. Yeah? But again, maybe he's better than I thought. Okay? So maybe we meet on the next and he tries a play on me. Whenever I play, well, fucking hell. I've got to react to that. Okay? What I'm trying to say is, I'm reacting to him. He's better than I thought in every step of the way. So when we talk about Villano, we know certain things have happened. Fiore specifically says, I've assessed my opponent. Okay? So I already have a pretty good idea of how skilled this person is. Okay? With the Villano, this is now still remedy, but it's a more aggressive type of remedy. Okay? I'm frustrated. We're kind of cancelling each other out. What I'm trying isn't working, and the closer I get, the more my risk goes up. Okay? So I'm going to think, right, let's set up something. I know he's a hard hitter, or I know he's pretty good at this, so I'm going to wait with the front foot forward a little bit, and I'm going to give him a big target to hit. He's right-handed, so his hardest attack is from that shoulder. If he wants to come from the other side, there's other plays for that. I would be on this side of my body, I'd do my reverse plays, okay? But I'm still testing the water. Now, I need to make him hit me hard, okay, for this to work. How do I do that? I get closer. I get closer. He's not going to swing up from all the way up here. He's too good for that. He knows what he's doing. So, I'll get closer. That's why the front foot's offline and forward, okay? That's mentioned in the text. We all know the Villano strike. Villano strike comes in, I'm just doing this. Okay, it's shock and awe, basically. It has to be shock and awe. I make my cover and I kill him. Okay? If he knows what he's doing, he starts to turn. We'll get to that in a second. Practice the Villano strike, because we're going to explore a bit about this in the next play. Okay, but that's how we get to Villano. One more thing. So I'm talking a lot, but this is the class. He could have just done that anyway. Okay? We may have had one or two master battle exchanges where he is just whacking in with that thing. Yeah? So he may swing wildly. Fuck me, he wants me dead. Yeah? So I don't need to, I know already I'm going to be leading Villano. Right? So that's what I do. Okay, thanks very much. Gosh, yeah. Right? Nice and quick, nice and easy, nice and simple. So always, it can jump all of these stages, okay? We're making a story. Practice Villano. Left foot forward, coming offline to the right foot, catching the cover, and just hitting them on the head and the arms. Okay, nice and easy. Offline, offline, cover, cover. Okay? Give it a go. Partner swap, please. Then we'll do the next bit. Okay? Chris or a Simon or a Luke or whatever, yeah, perfect. Okay, let's explore Villano for a second, okay? Again, build this up. Okay, I'll pull Villano out the tool bag because that's what they need. He's too good for Master Battle. He's too good for those first few tentative steps in Talago, or we've just run at each other and found ourselves here. We know with the Villano strike there's been some pre-assessment, very specific. We teach Villano strike in one way and it evolves into another. So it's really important. Beginning of the day I said we've taken a lot of time to figure out how to teach this stuff, right? Villano evolves, okay? So while most of you at your levels will be setting it up, cup comes in and you'll be coming offline like this. Okay, we do that because it makes it easier and more digestible. The principle becomes clearer, okay? However, it is super key in reality to meet it with the point forward, okay? So if you're currently doing it like this, keep it like that until your instructor changes it, okay? I don't want to dilute it. The reason why it's important to meet it point out though is because what if he does a Mazzano? He's good, remember. He shouldn't have gotten here if he wasn't. So if I commit myself to that action, just cut my arms off. Yeah? So we meet it point out. And the reason why I need to drop that in is because it helps explain the next bit, okay? But that comes out, I catch it, and I let it fold, because then it doesn't matter if it's a Mazzano or a Fendente. Okay? Over. That's really important. Keep doing it like you've been shown to do it, because we don't do that to a later level for most people. Right, so he is good enough to get to this stage. I'll pull Villano out the bag because that's what I need. Okay, so he is going to do a Fidente now, and I'm going to do it the way that most of you are doing. Okay, so the Fidente comes in, I come offline, boom, boom, so I'm on my right foot with the cover, and I win it over. If he dies, but he's gotten this far. So what if he's actually pretty good? Okay, he'll start to escape in the only way he knows he can, which is that way. Right? Any reasonable swords person would go that way, okay? Because they know where the cut's coming from, which gives me my next play, the thrust. But you can also defend. Okay, we have to be prepared for that. Right? If that happens, we're into a whole bunch of new melee plays. Okay, so don't worry about that too much. So practice that, and then we'll do a little bit of a deep dive into that turn, and then I want to get to the next play. Okay, I want to explain why the person after this cutting at my legs is not such an idiot. After having survived for this long, why would they do something so stupid? We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so Villano strike, however you do it at your current level. Get them to make the turn. Yes, here it comes. Bump, bump, get them to make the turn, and then we've got the next play, which is the thrust. And we could do this because he's actually pretty good at this. Okay? Okay, so I said, didn't I, this was part lesson, part talk. So, because Lib's class is going to kill you all, and therefore it's just a nice, easy pace. Right then. They're pretty good at this, aren't they? Yeah? If they've gotten this far, they're pretty good. So, in the PD manuscript, Villano onwards is all one master. We don't have time to get into all of that good stuff today. What we're getting about 30% as deep as it goes, right? In terms of the stages of Fiore's fight, how the sequence of the plays comes in, how it relates to distance, how it relates to tricks. Okay, we're building an art. Okay, so why, might you ask, when we know that if I'm imposter and he's imposter and he just cuts at my legs, we know that is, as an opening action, moronic, stupid, right? So why on earth would someone who's gotten this far do that now? The answer is, that's where it's gotten to. Okay? He doesn't want to die either. I'm better than he thought I was, because he's not one yet either. We're both pretty good at this. Okay? So, while I'm thinking about setting up the villain strike, maybe I'm high, maybe I'm low, I've had to encroach on distance. Remember, Fiore says, wait with your front foot forward. He's frustrated. I'm better than he thought I was. So what's a very obvious, juicy target in desperation? My leg. That's why someone who survived this long, at this time, chooses to strike for my leg. It's desperation. Yeah, I've given it to him. Okay? So I'm here, I'm high, doesn't matter. We don't actually show. But this is a nice, juicy target for him. He's desperate. So we know, okay, go for my leg. And then that's why that play isn't that part of the manuscript. It's not because he's an idiot, it's because he's got no choices left. I've met him at every stage of the way. If he's really good, a master, he wouldn't try that. But remember, we're building this up in sequence. Fiore's given us options. Up the ante, see what happens. Up the ante, see what happens. Up the ante, force him into a mistake, i.e. cut your leg, respond to it. He's really clued up, he's not going to do that. He's going to thrust, he's going to do something else in desperation. Okay? So I'll go at that play, have a couple of minutes deep dive on a couple of bits, and then that will be pretty much it. Okay? So I'm here, we all know that as an opening action is moronic. So we know the options. Okay? If we are approximately the same height, your target is the head and the arms. If the opponent is actually massive compared to you, and you swing for your legs, it's just the arms. We all know this play, of course we do. Okay? It's basic trigonometry. An experienced swordsman who's gotten this far, that's desperation. Because I've given it to him. Okay? I'm moving, I'm forcing the distance. And I want to do my lane strike, remember? It's there. It's right there. So I'm aware of it. Okay. Give that a go. We're nearly at the end of this one. Okay? Go for it. So as an opening action, we know that going for the leg is, as I say, it's wrong. Why would someone that good do it? Well, now we know why. Okay, and then we've got the next series of plays. Okay. Incidentally, actually, the shoe could be on the other foot. Okay? Maybe he is actually better than I am. Very possible. Okay? Well, if you believe Fiore, nobody's there. It's very possible. So if you are in desperation or otherwise going to go for the leg, there are certain ways to do it. Okay? We just had a quick chat about this, and we all have our little favourite options. But the main thing is don't look at the bloody leg if you're going to hit it. Okay? Don't look out the leg and go, oh yeah, that's another big, because it's just going to give it away. Just move and operate, come offline, fendente. That's my way of doing it. Okay? You'll have your own ways. The main thing though is nobody's got into this expecting to walk away unharmed. Fiore makes such a big deal about the fact that he did, thus proving his mastery of his art. Right? I walked away unscathed. Does that mean he went into the thing knowing he's probably going to get hurt? He just didn't because he's that good. Right? So, if the moronic move is to swing for the legs, and you've just not seen it, not reacted to it, it doesn't actually matter that much, to be honest. Okay? He's going to hit my leg. Okay, I may die 6 weeks later, I may not, but tough shit. Because I'm going to spend more time trying to crane him in the head. Yeah? So don't, remember the context, yeah? Reality. None of us are here expecting to walk away unscathed. Okay? Right. In principle, that is the end of the class / talk. I wanted to ease you into this weekend. Okay? And I tried not to do too much talking, but there's a lot of theory happening. Okay? Master battle into master remedy. We haven't done counter master contrary yet, okay? We didn't have time for that today. And then we have a counter to the counter. It only gets to stage 4, okay? Before you basically go back to either master battle or master remedy. A fight cannot evolve past the 4th stage. You cannot counter to a counter to a counter without it being a new action. The only martial art that really does happen in is modern ground fighting BJJ, where they will counter, but this is not the same, okay? This is not points, okay? So what we've done today is we've explored master battle. I'm assessing, figuring him out. I don't want to die today, okay? We cut, we move, look, we're at a distance, okay? He's too good for this. Beats, breaks and covers, we know. They're a link into remedy. So, I'll move, I'll use my posture, okay? I'll be aggressive at him, or I'll force him to cut at me. If you just send in a fendente, yeah, and yeah, he's dead. Or, he's better than I thought. Yeah, same action, he's moved. No, it's okay. Yeah, and this has all happened in 15 seconds. Yeah, he's too good for it. Right, let's give him something to think about. Oh no, it's not happening. Not happening. Right, let's force him into an action. Let's use my posture, let's force him into a predictable action. He's down low here, I want him high maybe, I'll force him into an action, I'll do something. Let's say he ends up on the high right shoulder, okay, now I'm playtime. I'm at my plays, I'm at Master Remedy, the ones that Fiore gives me. Swings in, I swing in, step back there because I wasn't sure how far he's going to come in, but the same principle applies. Points on thrust, his points on cut around, first 2 plays. Or, I've left myself a bit close, or he's steamed in. Let's say. Okay, so I've got my next set of plays. Yeah? We've steamed in a bit deeper, I'm here now. He's been stupid enough to leave his point out for too long. Grab, thrust, cut, whatever. But it's quick, it's a trigger. Okay? And if we get into a bit of a tussle, or we're a bit more laterally offset, so I'm a bit more to Luke's left, I grab it, I start the kick. Because it's there. Okay? But he's too good for all of that. He's too good for all of that, and he's hitting hard. Fine, I'll set him up. For that honour. Thanks very much. Dead. Or, he's too good for that. Thanks very much. Oh shit, he's not dead. I'll try a thrust. If I land, I've won. If he defends, then I'm back into other parts of the system. That's how it evolves. Remedy, 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 remedy until you win. That's what Fiore says. Okay? And then we don't have time for the rest of it, but I'm setting up the Villano. So my leg's out there. Always be wary of it. And that's how we make this into an art. We're scratching the surface. That's the whole principle of my class. Okay, that's how we evolve it. Okay. Any questions? Because we've got about 5 minutes till we take a break. Any questions? Amazing. Start your break early then. So round the hall, there's these things that tells you when the breaks are, when the classes are. Thank you very much, everybody, and have your break, and then it's Luke's class. Okay?